Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again on a Monday night. This is the world's most dangerous podcast, and it's hosted by your boy Stevie Ray. Hope everything's good. We had a very good weekend. Hope you guys did too. Very good shows last week, and we got good ones coming up this week also. But it is what it is. Now, as you guys know, usually we have Jimmy Tibbs on Monday nights. Jimmy has been off for the past few weeks because of other things that Jimmy has going on, so hopefully we'll see him tonight. What's up, Queen? What's up, Kron? You guys are in the house tonight. I also going live on Facebook. Who's up out there watching? Rob. I think Rob is watching right now with a couple other people. But yes, that is exactly what we're going into tonight. Now, we will be looking for Jimmy. Hello, Renee. How you doing? Let me see if he's out there, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, Jimmy hasn't been on for a couple of weeks. But he's had some things going on. I've had some things going on. And hopefully we can catch up with him tonight to see how everything's going with him. A lot of things going on out there in the world. Whatever you guys want to talk about, let me know. Because I've always got a few things to talk about. And I'm going to let you know. You guys know that. Hello, Calcutta. What's going on with you? Now, my boy Ernest Miller has been dropping a few clips. He just started a new podcast called The Cat's Corner. Well, he's interviewing different professional wrestlers and things of that nature. So he asked me to come on his show, and I did his show. And it went pretty well. It was pretty funny. So if you guys get a chance, man, go out there and holler at old Ernest the Cat Miller and see what he's talking about. And I guess he got some good interviews, some good people on there. And he's taping things because I think it's been probably close to 3 weeks when I did that, when I did a show. So I think he's getting ready to drop it right now. So all you guys out there be looking for that, man. Mark, what's going on? Mark McGee, what's going on? Reyes, what's going on? Who else is out there? But yeah, so hopefully we'll get Jimmy in here. And another thing, guys, I'm working on a new podcast that I think you guys are going to like. For the last 3 years, people have been asking me a lot of questions about things that's going on in professional wrestling. And you guys know, man, I really don't want to get into that banter because so many people are doing that. But what I'm going to do is start a new pod. It's still going to be here associated with Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray, but I want to add a new element to it. Every other week or so, I want to start a new podcast within the show where me and a couple of my friends are going to be talking about professional wrestling and everything professional wrestling, everything with the goings on of professional wrestling. And I hope you guys pay attention to that. And I hope you guys like that because it's going to be a different element. And, you know, it's going to be a show within a show, whereas I'm going to be talking about professional wrestling. Nothing but professional wrestling. So it'll be a show within a show, and I hope you guys like it. We're going to try to do it. What I'm going to try to do it at least once a month or twice a month, depending on how it goes. So if I get good feedback from it, I'll pump it up. If not, hey, at least we gave it a try, you know. But I want to do it in a little bit different way than what other people are doing. So that's one reason I don't tackle it like everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else does. Uh Bubba is saying, go Steelers. Oh yeah. I just hope the Steelers can cure their quarterback problem and get over that hump, man. Because I swear to God, I still don't know how the Pittsburgh Steelers make the playoffs with no quarterback play. And then you guys got teams like the Dallas Cowboys that got Dak Prescott that was up for MVP this year, and they don't do no more than what Pittsburgh does. How that work? Tell me how that work. You know, it's crazy to me. What's up, J Dog? What's up, Lawman? But yeah, guys. Um, so like I said, man, that's what we're going to be. That's what we're going to be tackling, man. So I'm putting all the particulars together now, just to see, you know, how we're going to do the whole thing, how we're going to structure the whole thing, and I want to come up with a new name for it. And we're going to, you know, change a lot of things around. We're going to promote it. We're going to put it out there on a lot of different platforms, and I'm kind of excited about it, man, because you got to do things that's kind of exciting sometimes, and go into you know, some of the different things that other people are not doing, because professional wrestling is getting more and more exciting. And this is one thing that I'm saying. If I talk about professional wrestling, that means I'm going to have to pay attention more to what's going on in professional wrestling. Not only that, I also want to start doing watch-alongs with the crowd, which means when a pay-per-view comes on, we can all watch it together, and we can give our feedback between the fans, between you guys, between myself as I'm, you know, looking at the pay-per-view to give my 2 cents and things of that nature. So I think that's going to be, I'll be taking questions from you guys as we're doing the watch along, and we'll just see where it goes from there. You know? We'll see what goes from there, because so that way, when AEW is having something, we can all watch it together. That way, if WWE is having something, we can watch it together, and we can give our feedback. You know, or we'll have the call-in phone. You know, if you want to call in, we'll have that going. You know, we're going to play around with it. So 2024, those are some new things that I want to get into and see if you guys like that. Kron just said Michael Parsons damn near tore something Friday night playing basketball on that LED floor. That would have been another Cowboy excuse. You know something, man? I'm going to tell you something, Kron, about the All-Star game. I get up this morning and everybody's talking about the All-Star game. Then I hear people like Stephen A. Smith saying, well, the dunk contest has become what it is because of LeBron James. Okay, since when the dunk contest has ever changed the element of professional basketball? Then he says it's because all the other greats did it, this, that, and the other. Just because of what you said, Michael Parsons almost hurting himself playing in a basketball game. A lot of these guys are professional competitors. And I don't care if they playing Chinese checkers or tiddlywinks. They want to win at it. That is why you don't see a person like LeBron James doing a dunk contest. And then Stephen A. said, to Shannon Sharp, well, was he afraid of losing? Who gives a fuck about losing a goddamn dunk contest? Especially if I'm on my way to being a billionaire. Now, what if I hurt my knee in a dunking contest? What if I hurt my ankle in a dunking contest? What if I break my leg in a dunking contest? Then maybe I'm not that billionaire. Not saying that money is everything, or maybe I'm not that competitor on the floor that's in the top 10 in every top category in NBA stats. Maybe I'm not that guy. Maybe I don't have the multiple MVPs of the league. Maybe I don't have the 4 championships and gone to 10, 11 NBA finals. Maybe I haven't carried this league on my back for a goddamn dunking contest. I mean, really, bro? Really? One night, one weekend out of a year is worth talking about. It's not this anymore. It's not that anymore. The game was this. They didn't hustle. They didn't do this. Nobody wants to hurt themselves for nothing. Nobody. Nobody wants to hurt themselves for nothing. Why do you think the NFL players stopped playing hard in the Pro Bowl? Bro, when I came up, the Pro Bowl meant something, brother, because you got an extra, I don't know how many thousands of dollars, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000. It went up every year. So those guys needed that paper. Well, now the paychecks are so astronomical, I don't need that fucking paper. I don't need it. And I don't need getting hurt and cutting my career short in a sport of which most people barely last 3 years anyway. Kidding me? What is the commissioner going to do about the game? I tell you what I would do. If I get picked for the Pro Bowl, don't even put me in. I'm going to sit on the bench. Let them young guys go out there and hurt themselves. You kidding me, Quan? Okay, Quan said, yeah, the late Sean Taylor delivered that legitimate hit on the punter. But Quan, you know what you're forgetting about? That hit was one thing. How many people in the last 10 years have gone out there in the Pro Bowl and gotten hurt and it messed with their whole careers? What about those guys? See, the punter didn't get hurt. And a punter is really not somebody, as valuable or a defensive back or a linebacker or a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman or a tight end or a wide receiver or a running back, a quarterback even. See what I'm saying? They're not as valuable to them because you can get them everywhere. Not taking nothing away from the great punters. But at the end of the day, let's be honest. If a punter got hurt, nobody would give a damn. If Sean Taylor had gotten hurt, everybody would have gave a damn because he's a difference maker. Now, who wants their difference makers getting hurt in a meaningless game? Who? And then I got to get up on a Monday morning and hear these guys debating about this, that, and the other. The score was this, they scored almost 400 points. I like it, man. I like it. You get to see your sports heroes out there playing around with them, playing around, doing what they do. It's like an off night. A man get an off night and you want him to kill himself for it. Is it me? Am I losing my mind? Am I losing my mind? Or people are so enthralled in bullshit, they don't even see what real shit is anymore. Is it me, Quan? Who was that saying? Hold on a second. I got to pull that back up. Hey man, what's wrong with my shit? You can fake your way to the top. Hey man, something wrong with my board, man. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Let me see here. 1 second. Yeah. What was that saying? LeBron doesn't have to prove himself in a dunk contest. His stats already speak for. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Wyas. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, I would love to see LeBron in a dunk contest, probably back when he was young. But this man already knew he was a brand, brother. He already knew he was a brand, and I can't. I got a family, bro. I got a family. Remember, LeBron had a family when he was very, very young. He still was his high school sweetheart. So he ain't got time to be macking no gals out in the strip club every night. I'm on a mission, bro. That's a different kind of individual. And then Stephen A saying he is the reason why the dunk test. Well, if he didn't start it, somebody else would have. Maybe it's because people don't dunk as good as they used to back in the day. What I said was, don't let the NBA players dunk the ball because they make so much. The average NBA player makes what, $1 million, $2 million? That's the average guy that we don't even know. I say go out and find all these great dunkers around the country in some of these B leagues and some hell off the street. I don't give a shit. And then he's represented. And then they have a dunking playoff all over the nation, the best dunkers in the world. And then those are the dunkers that's representing an NBA team. And you just keep doing elimination till you get down to the best dunkers in the country. Then you bring those guys to the NBA and you let them represent a certain team sponsored by the Milwaukee Bucks, sponsored by the Houston Rockets, whoever these people may be. Then we would get stuff, we would get people jumping through the moon, jumping through the hoops, jumping out the ceiling like we see in some of these independent wrestling organizations. And if he misses and hit the floor and break his neck, who would care? I would care. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there in a way that if somebody did that. But you will see spectacular stuff because these guys got nothing to lose and they need that cheddar. They need that bag. You put that cheese in front of a rat, what is he going to do? He going to get that cheese. Just like Denzel said in Training Day. I'm going to get that money and I'm going to get that gun because I don't believe you'll shoot me. That's what it's about. You hear me? What about that? Why don't they do what old Ray Dog just put out there? Then these people will get name recognition, and the next thing you know, you can take the Dunkin' show around the country, and little kids can pay money to come see it. Sponsored by the NBA. See how quick I figured that out? That's how my mind works. The world is changing, man. The world is changing. And some people don't want to change with it. Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. You can bitch, moan, and groan all you want. The world is going to continue to change. The world is going to continue to change. I don't care if it's sports. I don't care if it's movies. I don't care if it's TV shows. I don't care if it's dancing. I don't care what it is. Professional wrestling. I don't care what it is. The world is changing. People are changing. When people change, everything else changes. People change. They don't look at things like people used to look at things years ago. People got to come to a conclusion with that. You got to come to a fork in the road. Which way are you going to go? That's all I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Mark, you hear me? Mark said, ain't no hand up defense, though still people complaining and still watch. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Ain't no need to complain about something ain't gonna change. The NBA changed all those rules for a reason. The NFL changed all those rules for a reason. Baseball went to playoffs and changed a lot of their stuff for a reason because people want excitement. Back when I was growing up, you could go to the movie and see a movie like Kramer versus Kramer. Wasn't no action. Or a half Alfred Hitchcock movie. Just suspense. Everything moving slow. You got to listen to the verbiage to try to figure what's going on. You put a movie like that out, and ain't nobody give a damn. You know why? Everybody in the McDonald's. Fast. Food. Garbage. But I love it. I love this garbage. Ain't nothing they can do about it. Hooked like a junkie. The world is changing. The world is changing. When I was coming up, we used to all have to sit down at the table. And you better be on your better be on your best behavior. Or your mother will punch you in the stomach or slap you right beside the head. That's how it was. Who eats together with their family anymore? Who does it? Ain't no need of having a table in the house no more. Everybody eat on the couch or eat on the floor, eat in the bedroom, eat out of doors on the patio. That's what they do now. Eat in the car. Don't get mad at me. I just tell it like it is. I just tell it like it is. McCall Cron just said, I've been a Celtics fan since 85. I didn't want Jaylen Brown. Yeah, I saw Jaylen get in there, man. And that shit and possibly hurt it in his hand. Yeah, come on, man. Jaylen is too smart for that. You know that dude got like 190 IQ. Yes. Dude is sharp, super sharp, but too dumb to see writing on the wall. But that's just me, man. Do what you want. Do you. I'm gonna do me. We gonna do us. And that's how it's gonna be. What about that? Jimmy!
Mr. Stevie Ray, how are you?
Jimmy, what's going on, man? I'm just sitting up here talking to the crowd, man, giving my 2 cents on different things that's going on in the world, man. You know me.
Let me do my Denzel Washington imitation since you brought him up earlier. 1991. Odessa! I knew that would make you laugh. Odessa!
Oh my God, Denzel! We done did a lot of Denzels on this show, man. He done had some good scenes over the years, man.
Did you ever see his very first movie?
Carbon Copy.
Carbon Copy. Mr. Charlie. What did the guy tell George Siegel at the end? He says, "If you leave now, you're finished. When I get through with you, shoveling horse should be a step up for you." Man, that was a good movie. That was a good movie.
Yeah. A lot of people don't remember that, man.
No, of course not.
But Jimmy, what you been up? What you been up to, man? I've been talking to the crowd about different things that's going on, and that WP didn't Piper star in a movie that gave us predictive programming of the current times? Oh, you talking about that movie They Live? Is that the one you're talking about, WP? If you're talking about that one, yeah, that was a little look in the future. You remember that movie, Jimmy?
Oh yeah.
They Live with him and what's his name?
Keith David. Keith David.
Keith David.
Mm-hmm.
Keith David or David Keith?
Something. Yeah.
That
was a hell of a fight scene they had together, boy.
Yeah, you can tell it had Roddy Piper written all over it.
Piper said, even though it's a movie, Piper said, boy, the guy hits like a mule.
Yeah. Calcutta said it could have been Body Slam. Calcutta, you know it wasn't no damn Body Slam. What you talking about? Body Slam didn't show nothing about the future. What Calcutta talking about? Tell me it could have been Body Slam.
Don't worry about it. Calcutta, the one say I was turning into David Meltzer. What the hell was that thing, bro? I don't know how these correlations are coming out of nowhere, man.
WP said, yeah, they lived. Yeah. That was about Big Brother.
But Stevie,
he just said, it's Keith David. Yeah, it's two of them, Keith David and David Keith. Remember that?
I don't know.
I get their names backwards too, because one is a white guy, one's a black guy.
Okay. So yeah. Keith David is the black guy in the movie.
Yeah, and David Keith played in what's the movie when Lou Gossett and them they was in the military? He won an Oscar for that.
Officer and a Gentleman.
Officer and Gentleman. He's the one that played. He played the one that hung himself over the girl.
No, he's gonna go back to Oklahoma, get his job back at the J.C. Penney's.
Right.
We'll live with mom and them for a little while. Things will be tough. Girl said, "You idiot! No one quits with 3 weeks left." In other words, she was saying, "I can do this right here. I ain't got to go to damn Oklahoma."
The girl played. Remember, the girl played him and told him she was pregnant and all that shit.
Yeah.
And he was one of them good old boys. Yeah. You know, that goes out there and takes care of a girl. That's the way he was raised, man. You know.
Yeah, but he didn't understand. He was kind of naive to what her game was.
Of course.
Right. He just
of course he was. He's a country boy. He don't know nothing about these chicks trying to get in. These chicks trying to get in where they fit in with these aviator. These guys trying to be aviators. You know, set for life. Now Jeremy just asked me, Stevie, what was a better predator, 1 or 2? 1. 2 was good too. But 1, that was good. I can still watch that movie just like it came on yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I can still watch that movie. Predator 2, I can take it or leave it. Depends on my mood when it's on. But the one with Arnold and that cast, that was one of the best cast.
I mean, it was, Stephen, when they made it almost smart in the movie, they used his muscles in a smart way, is what I'm trying to say. But the fact that the alien couldn't see the colors of the earth was fascinating to me.
He couldn't see what now?
He couldn't see the colors of the earth. In other words, when Arnold fell into the river and he came out all muddy and looking, he couldn't see him.
Well, he couldn't see him not because of the earth. He couldn't see him because he sees things through heat, body heat.
Right.
And the earth cools your body, so he couldn't pick up the body heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when he had the advantage where he paints himself up and just a damn good movie, man. I thought the second
that's why he could turn invisible.
Yeah.
I thought the second was okay too. Yeah, but it wasn't as good as the first one. Fighting in the city ain't like fighting in the jungle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't like fighting in the jungle. And I'm a big Danny Glover fan, but I'm not a Danny Glover guy when it comes to action.
Right. That's right.
That's just me. But I thought it was a good movie. It made money.
But when you take out Carl Weathers, when you take out I can't think of the other black guy's name. He's a producer.
Bill Duke.
Bill Dukes. You take out the porn star Sonny
Jesse Sunderland. What's his name? Something Black. He got killed early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love me some Sonny Latham. You go die, Billy Bell. Give it up, Billy Bell.
His name was Billy in 2 movies. Can you believe that? His name was Billy in 2 movies. Remember, he was Billy Bell. Remember, he was Billy in 48 Hours.
Yeah. I'm looking. Hold on, Stevie. Oh, that shit. I can't find my wallet. I'm looking for a good old boy named Billy Bell.
Yeah, rest in peace, my man Carl Weathers, man. We talked about that last week, Jeremy. About Carl Weathers. You might have missed that if you missed the show, but we talked about Carl Weathers last week. Training Day. Denzel Washington said, "King Kong ain't got nothing on me." My favorite. That Brandon said that's his favorite movie. I'm gonna love this next King Kong movie, makes Godzilla movie with King Kong, and they got to join forces. I can't wait to see that. Have
Wow.
you heard about that, Jimmy?
No, man.
Oh, the new one.
Okay.
King Kong and Godzilla got to team up to beat up, I guess, some space aliens or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, that brings me back to my childhood, man. I can't wait to see that, bro. Yeah, I just seen the trailer on it tonight. Yeah, they're not fighting each other.
When's it set to release?
Oh, I can't remember now, man. I think it's this summer.
Damn, man. So, but yeah, man, to answer your question, what's been going on, man? Over the weekend, Steve, it happened again to me, man.
What's that?
I got this damn HBO on demand, and I was going through it, and I got hooked on this show about comedians called Crashing. And that was 2017, 2019. It is so damn good. I ended up watching all three seasons, Friday, Saturday, yesterday, and the last two early this morning. Just got hooked on it, man. It's so damn well written. It is so damn good. And it just shows you the politics. You know, the guy wants to be a comedian, the wife, she's a school teacher. They live in upstate New York, and he's got to leave at 4:30 just to get down in New York City for 6:30 to sign do the sign up list, and which means he gets back sometime after midnight. You know, so and she's like, how long is this going to continue? You know, it's a damn good series. If you would watch it, you would see how it's a lot like the wrestling business.
Any kind of entertainment business
that's right.
To a certain level.
The politics. So there's one guy, they're all working this club, getting paid nothing. And this one guy gets picked to be on an HBO special.
And
can you believe they picked this motherfucker? So they're all talking about it. And the guy walks in. And when he walks in, oh, congratulations, man.
Really?
Yeah, so they're all having drinks and start drinking, it all comes out. Well, he figures out they're all jealous of him except the one guy. He said, well, I don't want y'all to come to the tape, and you come to the tape and with me. Now, this is his big shot. He gets nervous.
Right.
And he shaves it. He says, well, should I shave my beard? He shaves his beard, then he shaves the mustache. And after he does that, he realizes, oh, fuck. My act is about my beard. So he goes out, ends up having the good set, and the guy that went with him, he asked the lady that picked him, she says, why him? She said, well, he just has a star quality about him. It's just a really good series, man. How, the ebbs and flows, he's got a girlfriend and all kinds of crazy ass shit. But in terms of, if you watch it, you would relate to it, how things happen in the wrestling business. And I know from time to time on this show, you would say, oh, I can't talk about that. It's something I can tell you off the air or something like that.
Right.
You know what? And now I know exactly what you mean, because I don't know if you've been watching the news lately. There was a comedian that said some bad shit about George Floyd.
I saw that.
Okay. I know that guy personally. Okay. And my reaction, just like I would tell you things when I give you a phone call, and you're like, yeah, Jimmy, that's just the wrestling business. Because see, you're on the inside. Right. So this thing with this guy, I could tell you some things, and I'm not going to do it here on the air.
Right.
It's like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. See?
Oh, not at all.
Because anytime you're on stage, you see who you really are. That's why I love stand-up comedy. Because it's the boldest form of entertainment.
Right.
See, when you're in those movies and stuff, you're given a script, you can kind of pretend to be something. But when you're on that stage flapping your gums, who you really are will come out eventually. See? Right. And if you watch the clip, it wasn't a joke. He was just talking. He was just talking.
Right.
I would have shot that nigga. No,
Right.
that wasn't a joke. No, he was just talking. You see,
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah. So when
Right.
you really, it comes out, eventually on that stage, and like anything, if you're on radio for 20 years, Stevie, you're gonna say something inappropriate sooner or later. It's a numbers game. Something's gonna.
Now I remember years ago,
Okay.
what you're talking about right now reminded me of a joke Chris Rock told
Uh-huh.
years ago when he was talking about people. He was talking about assassinations,
Oh,
and
I
I
love
get
it.
it. Did
I love it. I
do
love it.
you do you
I love
remember?
it.
You remember
I
that
love
joke?
it. They wasn't. Them niggas were shot.
Yeah. He
Absolutely.
said.
Man.
He said. He said. Biggie and Tupac, they didn't get assassinated. Them niggas got killed.
Yeah, no niggas were shot.
Them niggas got shot and
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? He took at that time ago. This was years ago, and that didn't start a protest. That didn't start any kind of protest around the world. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, he got no flack from that. Even I'm talking about a local flack, not even from his own community. It was just a joke.
Yeah.
It was just a joke, came and went, and it was funny.
Yeah, it's context. Like I said, you watch this clip with this guy, you like, no, and then I like Kyle Rittenhouse too. Yeah, see, yeah, see,
right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. See, just and I will thank the black community because they've been trying to get the guy canceled, and that's a whole different topic right there. But at least something is being said because I tell you one thing, Stevie, on this platform right now, I can say one word about Jewish people, and this show will be taken off the air. You understand? See, they don't play. They don't have any humor or negative things about them in their community at all.
The thing is,
they don't play.
The thing is, when it comes to the Jewish community, they pretty much own most of the airwaves. They pretty much, in the entertainment business, they pretty much own most of the airwaves, if not running the airwaves. If not, behind the scenes running Viacom, running Warner Brothers, running Disney. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm over all these entities and so many of these entities, like the news stations, the cable news stations, the movie studios, so on and so forth, then you're going to have to apologize in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is why so many people get backlash right now if they say, I support the Palestinians.
Right.
The narrative is you don't supposed to support the Palestinians if you are from the West of the United States or Canada or anywhere in Western civilization. And to me, that's really fucked up. If you know the whole history of how that whole thing started. If you don't know the whole history of how that thing started, go do your research. I just believe in wrong is wrong and right is right. And I don't give a shit who's on the other side. Just like anybody that supported the United States invading Iraq. Anybody that supported that, I don't support them. Because that to me was wrong. I don't need a political party. I don't need a mouthpiece to think for me. I can think for myself, and I can do the research myself. And I think that's what this country lacks. I think we live in a country that is a monkey see, monkey do mentality. If I see a protest going on outside, I'm gonna go join the protest, and then I'm gonna hit the other guy in the reels that's walking beside me and say, "Hey man, what are we protesting?" See, before I get in that protest, I want to know what everything was about. Other than that, I might stand with you. I might not stand with you. I might be the minority. But see, I'm used to being a minority. But that's because that's how I am. I'm not a go along, get along type guy. I like to think for myself. I like to think for myself and do my own thing. When I was in high school, I used to wear white shoes, when I was dressed nice. And people would call me Pat Boone.
Yeah.
People would call me Pat Boone. But did I care? I didn't care. Because I like wearing white shoes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you going up against a bear, when you see, and whenever you go against that grain, you don't have to believe me. Look at Kanye West. Look what happened to Mel Gibson.
What
When
did
the
they
real,
tell Kanye?
when they said things
Yeah.
about the very people they shouldn't, I ain't gonna say shouldn't, but they said things against. But then when you're in that world, you got to know your beans from your cornbread, bro. You got to know your beans from your cornbread.
That's right. But what did they tell Kanye? Come get your money. And we know you got a lot. Come get your shit. See, that's power. You got $200, $300, $400, $500,000, $1 million in this bank. We want it gone by 5 o'clock. Transfer it out. It's power, man.
Wait a minute, my boy Kron just said something. I couldn't take care of white sneakers for the shit as a kid. I ain't talking about white sneakers. I'm talking about white shoes.
Yeah.
I didn't say tennis shoes. I said shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With sneakers, brother, you just get some bleach and a toothbrush. You know, and you go to town and you sit there and till they white as white can be. I love me some white sneakers back in the day. Yeah, you're going to get them dirty, but you had to clean them up after every walk. After every walk, baby, you got to clean them up. If not, they're going to get dirtier and dirtier.
Not the Pat Boone shoe. Pat Boone did he did wear those, yeah, with the slacks.
Oh, yeah. Brother, I love me some white shoes, bro. I'm a big Pat Boone fan, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a big Pat Boone fan. His favorite movie that he did to me, our State Fair. The State Fair. I don't know if you remember that one. Anybody out there listening to me, go look that movie up, man. It was a good movie, man.
I didn't even know Pat Boone made movies.
Yeah, Pat Boone's a movie star, bro. Back in the day. Yeah. I mean, he was a singer too. He was kind of like a miniature.
Right.
What word am I looking for? Kind of like
you remember the album No More Mr. Nice Guy, and he's dressed up as a punk rocker and stuff in the album?
Yeah. He's much older then, though.
Yeah, I know.
He was about 60 years old then, you know what I'm saying? Maybe older. He might have been older than that.
Yeah, man, in the mid-60s. But he's got the spiked hair, and he's got the leather and the chains, and No More Mr. Nice Guy. It was funny.
Remember, after Elvis, they started doing that with a few of the good-looking white kids. Remember, they did it with Pat Boone. Then they did it with Ricky Nelson. Remember Ricky Nelson?
Yeah.
You know, went to a garden party. Remember that?
Man, listen, if you start thinking Petula Clark song downtown, I'm turning this damn shit off right now. Downtown. You know Petunia Clark?
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. All that shit is in my head, man.
Yeah.
And when we start talking about this stuff, it comes out, man. Something I haven't thought about in 30 years. And we'll start having conversation, and boom, all that stuff's popping in my head. That like the Pat Boones, Ricky Nelson, even James Darren, Bobby Darren. James Darren, he was a singer also, but he did a lot of movies. Remember, he played in the Gidget movies. And then he played in Time Tunnel. Very good actor, man. But yeah, he was in that realm of singing and doing the movie. They were trying to capitalize off what Elvis had made. They wasn't no Elvis, but they was miniature Elvises. Because none of them could dance. Right. See, if they could dance, I think a lot of them really got over the hump.
Well, yeah, he had the charisma. He just.
Oh man, yeah.
You put him in those movies, at the beach or whatever. He just had it.
You ain't lying, brother. That Joker. Oh man, I'm a big Elvis fan to this day. I can watch his movies, whether it's serious movies like those early cowboy movies, or like you said, those beach blanket bingos.
Yeah.
You know, Or like what's his name that was in Beach Blanket Bingo? Like him, he was another one that was in what was his name? Guys, y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Beach Blanket Bingo. That's the name of the.
Is
That's
that
the
Tab
name of
Hunter?
the game.
Is that Tab Hunter? Somebody like it so much?
I think Tab was. I think they tried to do it with Tab too.
Yeah.
No, Frankie Avalon. Frankie Avalon. You know, yeah. Rice Snapper just put it up there. Yeah, Frankie Avalon.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
Oh, yeah.
they did it with a lot of them. Elvis opened the door for all these kids, man.
Oh,
Open the
yeah.
door for them. You know. Oh my God, Beach Blanket Bingo. Those were some good. Those were some fun movies to watch when I was a kid, man. You
Yeah.
know, boy, them suckers doing the twist. Come on, baby.
Wasn't wasn't the girl from the Musketeers and that's to Annette Funicello? Wasn't she in a bunch of
Annette and Frankie was the stars of
right?
all those movies, and I think they did what 4, 5.
They made a few of them.
They did it. They did a few of them, man. They must have made whenever you see a movie done more than once, it made money.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, it made money. Then I'm looking at this old movie. I can't remember the name of it. And Frankie Avalon's in this movie. He's real young. I think it was like a monster movie or something. It was like a monster movie. You know, the old sci-fi movies and shit from the 50s. He's a young guy in there, And I'm like, wait a minute, that's Frankie Avalon, So he was doing movies before the Beach Blanket Bingo stuff. I guess we never really recognized him. Isn't that funny? But that's how the old mob flops. Yeah, and Calcutta just said, and don't forget Don Rickles. For what? Don Rickles never been no child. What is he talking about? What is Calcutta talking about, Jimmy?
I know I consider myself a cross between Don Rickles and Paul Mooney with my comedy, but I don't know what he got to do in the Beach Blanket movies. I don't know.
No, he was in one. He was in one. He called himself Big Drag. See, Calcutta, you didn't think I knew that, did you?
Love me some.
You didn't think I knew that, did you? Yeah, it was one when they were talking about drag. It was one. The theme was about drag racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Don Rickles was in there. Yeah, I remember that. I know all those movies, man. If you put the movie in front of me, if I see something coming, I can say the line before it gets here. Yeah. Like my boy just said, he believed little Stevie Wonder. Yep, Stevie Wonder was in one too. Yep, he was young. He was a kid then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he was singing Fingertips. Yeah. Clap your hands just a little bit louder. And just dancing ass off. Oh my God.
Ass off, man. Yes, indeed.
Man, like I was just talking about before you came on, man, things are changing. Everything changed. People thought that was wild in the 60s.
Right.
People thought stuff like Beach Blanket Bingo was wild because the girls had bikinis on and they're out there dancing on the beach and stuff like that.
Showing that belly button. Did they show
right.
belly button?
No, Annette couldn't show her belly button.
Show her belly button.
Remember, Walt Disney wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the girls he made, But now you look at something like that, it's tamed. If something like that was on TV today, it would be considered rated X years ago.
Yeah, but I even as a kid, Stevie, I remember, watching I Love Lucy and syndication, because I wasn't born during that time anyway. And even as a kid, I'm like, separate beds?
Well, why are they sleeping in bunk beds?
Bunk beds?
Right.
Even as a kid, it looked stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why you think y'all married? Y'all sleeping in bunk beds.
Right. 5, 6 years old, they had bunk.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it wasn't logical. You know what I'm saying?
Right. TV wouldn't allow it. Okay, isn't that crazy?
Can I tell a quick funny story about that?
Go ahead.
This is the year 2000.
Okay.
This is when I just fall madly in love with Stacey Dash, or the girl from just like Stacey Dash. and I offered to take her to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And so we hadn't done anything physically yet. So
Okay.
she's, we'll get to Jamaica to be romantic and, and blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. Then she changed her mind. So I said, well, okay, we'll still go, but we'll get, twin beds.
What?
I know. I'm in love. Anything she wants,
Yeah, you got to be in love, brother. Because I'm like,
yeah.
in Ray Dog school, you ain't going to Jamaica. You ain't going to Jamaica.
I know. So you remind me of one of my clients. You a deep voice, just like Sam Castle. When I was telling him about it, I took him out for a steak
Jamaica.
Dinner. Yeah, so I took him out for a steak dinner, and I'm telling him all about the fun we had in Jamaica, and he's cutting the steak. This sounds like you was there with her, and not the other way around.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
He says, no, let me tell you something, man. He said, even with these damn white girls, you go to Jamaica all the time. She's with you. You ain't with her. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And he's talking loud and cutting the steak, and the mayor of New Orleans is in the back and just talking loud. It was hilarious, man. So,
hey, wait a minute, Jimmy. Jimmy, before you continue.
Yeah.
Calcutta just put another one up here. Did you see that?
Okay.
Did you know Michael Landon started his career in Teenage Werewolf?
Oh, neat.
Did you know, Calcutta, that I don't care? Did you know that? Did you know, Calcutta, that I really don't care? Did you know that? What's wrong? What's wrong with Calcutta, bro?
He's just trying to add a story.
What story? We ain't said nothing about no Michael Landon and Teenage Werewolf.
He's adding it parenthetically, by the way.
Okay, he was in Teenage Werewolf. Oh, and when did we start talking about teenage horror movies? Next, he'll be talking about Johnny Quest in a minute.
Did you know Andy Griffith was in an episode of Hazel?
And then what? He's gonna move over to Green Acres. I want to know. what more you want to talk about, bro. Hold on, Jimmy. Before you finish your story, let's let Calcutta get this shit out. Let's just let him get it out, man. Get it out, Calcutta. Please, man, have at it. I want to know, Jimmy. He keep putting this stuff up there. They got nothing. I mean, I'm just now he gonna say he done. No, he's not done. Soon as we get on another subject, he gonna put something up there.
Did you know Brandon Kingsley from All My Children was also in Petticoat Junction?
I'm just like, oh my goodness, man. I was a teenage werewolf. I mean, Lon Chaney, the motherfucker he go all the way past Lon Chaney and go to Michael Landon. How that shit work? How that work, Jimmy?
You got my stomach hurting, man. Stop it.
I just want to know, man.
Stop it. We get to Jamaica, and
okay.
We walk into the room, and the twin beds are there, like,
Oh man, come on, the twin beds.
She looked at me. She says, "What is this?"
Wait a minute. She said, "What is this?"
Yeah, she said, "What is this?" You said separate beds.
Right.
She said, "Are we on the set of I Love Lucy?"
Well, y'all could have easily went back. Could you have gone back and said, "Hey, could y'all give us a single bed? You got any rooms left with a single bed?" Could you have done that?
I was just so embarrassed and like, oh my God, it's what you said you wanted. You wanted twin beds and blah blah blah. So funny. So then she laughs and she said, okay, no, we just go sleep in one bed, okay? It was just
Hey man, I tried that shit. It don't work.
I know the
I
stupid
remember
man.
getting a room. I remember getting a hotel room with twin beds, and they didn't have any more beds. And I'm like, I can't remember who I was with, but whoever I was with, sleeping in that one bed, I'm too big. Maybe you're a
I know.
smaller guy. I'm
Yeah.
too big, and that there's somebody taking up my space in the I'm about to fall out the side of the damn bed, brother. You know what I'm saying? So that I but it wasn't my fault. It's just the fact that they didn't have any more beds. You know, they didn't have no singles. Put it like that. I can't remember where I was,
Yeah, that
but I
was
just remember going through that.
look at that was a long time ago. I've learned so much since those days, you know. But my client son, well, I wish you could meet Sam one day. He's like, yeah, no, Tibbs, you go to Jamaica all the time. Sounds like you was there with her. She there with you. You don't be playing.
Oh, that's right. I'm like this, man. Going on a trip with somebody
Yeah,
that I don't know if I'm really into them or not. I can't
right.
go on a trip with them
Yeah.
because see, I seen too many episodes of Shipmates. Did you ever
Okay.
watch that show?
No, what is that?
It was like they send people on a date on a cruise ship, and the people get into it and fighting each other all the damn time.
Yeah, boy.
So I had never, Jimmy, I've done a lot of things in my life, man. I've gone to the Super Bowl. I've gone to the Indy 500. I've gone to the Daytona 500. I've gone to Formula One race. I've gone to heavyweight boxing match. You know, I've been involved in many pay-per-views myself, traveled the world. The one thing I had never done is go on a cruise. Do you know that? I had never been on one before. And then I was planning to take a little vacation to go on a cruise. This is like early 2000s, right in there. 2001, 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. I can't even remember now. 2005, maybe. I can't remember. But I said, I want to go try a 3-day cruise out because I had never been on a cruise because, you know, it goes down into Mexico and this, that, and the other. And I get a feel for it because a lot of my buddies have been on cruise. They've gone on them, a lot of them. But I had never had the time to do one.
All right.
So anyway, I'm thinking about doing the cruise, and I'm thinking about taking a friend of mine with me, right?
Okay.
Then the closer and closer that the cruise get, because the people kept calling me back, and lowering the price because, you know, they got to get those ships filled up, you know. Finally, they got down to a price that I was really wanted. And if it went any lower, I wouldn't have been able to get my money back
Okay.
if I decided not to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm talking to my friend about it. And the more I talk about it, Jimmy, and the more I think about it, that TV show, Shipmates, kept popping up in my head. And I'm like, I don't think I want to go on a cruise and then get into it with a person that you can't get off the damn boat. You know what I'm saying? Because every time on Shipmates, that would happen. So, Jimmy, I was like, on my first cruise, Jimmy, I can't do it. I can't go with somebody because I'm too afraid. I'm afraid something's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
because this is something new. If you know what I'm saying, you don't know if you really like the person or not. So I don't want to be stuck on Gilligan's Island with somebody, you know, that I really want to. I don't really know if I'm into them or not. So
Yeah.
I changed it and I went by myself. And I'm gonna tell you something, Jimmy. Brother, I had the best time of my life.
Yeah.
I had the best time of my life. I met so many people on that ship that it wasn't even like a vacation, brother. I was tired. I was woe out when I got home.
Yeah.
Worn out. And I took it in the wintertime, like right now. If you see what I'm saying. It was like in the January, something like that. Like January, maybe early. No, it's like January, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like early. It was kind of cool here. So now, and you know, over there in the Mexico and all that, it was still warm. So it was great, man. But I haven't been back since. I've been trying to go, but I still haven't went back since. But
Yeah.
now I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Huh?
I never been on a cruise before, but I heard when you go on a cruise, you're doing so many things that you don't spend much time in the cabin. There's
No,
so many
Ex-
activities and stuff that you basically go to
I'm
the cabin, you sleep, and you're back at it again.
Jimmy. I'm glad I did go by myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been cool to go with somebody if you really somebody really into it, been dating for a while. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of okay because you know the person.
Right.
But getting to know a person on a cruise, because I didn't even know if I was going to like the cruise or not. And then if my mood is not bad, who you going to take it out on?
Oh boy. Yeah.
You dig? So I it was cool, man. I'm like, I had so much fun, man. Golly. And like I said, the days, and then when we get over to like Mexico, I would rent me one of those little scooters and go all over the place, man. Just riding, eating, drinking, just go all over the place, man. Meeting people, with my very minute Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Good thing people knew English and stuff like that. And just meeting people. Just meeting people and talking to them. Man, I hadn't had an experience like that in my life, bro. I had so much fun. So much fun. I mean, to the point where, and then you get to, it's a group of people that you're with as far as dinner every night. Same group of people. Right. So those group of people kind of become your group, if you know what I'm saying. Then going to the casinos and stuff. And I swear to God, Jimmy, I got recognized one time. The whole cruise. The whole time, yeah. Even if somebody recognized you, they didn't say nothing to you. Right. I just happened to be out on the deck by the pool, and this black couple was right over from me, and the guy was like, "Hey, man, are you Stevie Ray?" And I go, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, man, blah, blah, blah." That was the only guy, him and his wife. Only guy. And I was everywhere, in the discos and the casinos. Yeah. Oh my God, brother. I had a great time.
So what does that show you? That the world's a big place.
What was that?
So what does it show you? That the world's a big place. Big place. So
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but you need to do another one.
I've been thinking about WP just said, I've been thinking about a cruise, but I hear so many horror stories. Me too, WP. That's why I was leery. I didn't want to be like them guys on that shipmates fighting and stuff. Because they get on shipmates, somebody might see another person. You see, I'm on the show, they're on a show, but it was easy to see somebody else, and then the girl get mad, or the guy get mad or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it was, man. I mean, it was a bunch of women on the trip. On the trip, I met a lot of people, but nobody my speed, because Ray Dog got standards, man. It is what it is, bro. Yeah. Ray Dog got some standards, man.
Steve, did you meet any women like on an episode of Sanford and Son?
Maybe.
When they tried to get Fred to go on the boat and they end up having the party at Rollo, and the girls go, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Oh, man,
what it was, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
which one?
Yeah, that's Florence from the Jeffersons. That was her daughter.
Really?
Yeah. Then when she had the green thing, long arms, nice to meet you, acting all sedity and shit. And
I remember that, but I don't remember the face.
Yeah,
I don't remember the face, but I do remember the scene.
She's an actress, and that's her daughter. That's her daughter. So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I know goofy trivia like that, stuff like that sticks in my head.
Yeah.
But
I do remember the scene though, but I can't remember what the girl looked like. And I didn't know she was homegirl's daughter anyway, though.
Yeah. Now the other girl played in Good Times. That was a partner on there. She played the time they had the VD the episode where she got VD and she thought she got it from JJ.
That's got you from JJ. Right, and you remember Jay Leno in that episode?
He was in that episode. So a lot of people
Jay Leno was in that episode, man.
Yeah,
when they went to the VD clinic, he's like, "Hey, what you here? Hey, what are you here for?" And he told him that was himself. That's funny. Most of us are here for VD.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know,
Yeah, that's
Stephen,
funny.
a
Most
lot of
people
people
didn't.
don't know how powerful Jimmy Walker was in those days. He
Oh, he was a top comic.
Jay Leno and David Letterman worked for Jimmy Walker. Okay.
Wow.
Now, Steve Martin was also part of that clique. And he went to Jimmy Walker, you know, what do you think about my act? He says, man, you need to stop all this foolishness. This ain't taking you nowhere. And he said, the minute he did that, a week later, King Tut and Steve Martin takes off. And Jimmy Walker, ever since
Through the
then,
roof.
yeah, he
Yeah,
said,
he
ever since
also.
you don't give anybody advice. You just do you.
I heard that.
Yeah,
He
you
also
can
was a
stop
right.
them.
He also was a writer on the Smothers Brothers show as a young
Oh
guy.
yeah. But you know,
Yeah, as a young man.
all this silly
Yeah.
shit you're doing ain't working, man. Look, you got to stop all this. And man, it was just so funny. And he just takes off like a rocket, man. And I don't know if you've ever heard the Eddie Murphy and Dr. Rodney Dangerfield story. That's a funny one.
What's that?
But you know, they're at the Comedy Store out in Los Angeles, and Eddie Murphy is about to go up, but he sees Rodney Dangerfield. He says, Rodney, would you mind staying and watching my set? Just want to get your opinion. And he goes up and does this thing, and Rodney says, I don't know, kid, all this racial stuff you're talking about. I don't know where this is going. You got to be careful with all this kind of stuff. I don't know. And Eddie said he was just crestfallen that he looked up the Rodney and he was told this. Well, shortly after he does Tonight Show, he gets on Saturday Night Live, 48 hours, takes off like a rocket. Turn the page. He says he sees Rodney out there in Las Vegas. He's a Chavez or something like that. 4 or 5 years later, Eddie's going to the bathroom. Rodney pulls up next to him. He looks at Rodney. Rodney looked at him. Rodney said, who knew? 5 years, who knew? That's what I'm saying. I don't give anybody any advice, man. Just do your thing because you don't know what's going to click,
Man, that's show business.
Yeah, but I'm sure you got that in the wrestling business. People came.
I mean, that's a used to be. It used to be, not anymore. But back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah. But everything is cookie cutter manufactured now.
Well, yeah, it's a different world now, but But you can't. In other words, you can't tell someone how to be a personality, though. So in other words, Well,
like I say, in the wrestling world today, they write your personality for you. That's the one thing in professional wrestling that people don't have anymore: the individuality and something that you create. Yeah. But now they create it for you. That is why I say today's professional wrestling these are actors that are wrestling. Back in the day, we were wrestlers that had to act somewhat. So it's totally different now. So your character and stuff like that, your demeanor, everything about your creative side, you had to have a big part in it. Now, somebody may help you with it a little bit, give you a little advice on how to bring it out a little bit more, but it was pretty much your gimmick. But nowadays, it's like a cookie cutter now. It's like you see the thing going down the assembly line and somebody's punching a little face with a smile on it, on and on and on. That is why when you see people nowadays, they leave like WWE, one of the big organizations, they can't take the gimmick with them.
Right.
So now they got to turn into somebody totally different than what the fans been looking at for years. And you will never be accepted. It's just like the Three Stooges. If the Three Stooges, somebody told the Three Stooges at the studio, you can't be Moe, Larry, Curly, and Shemp anymore. I want you to act like the Marx Brothers. It's not going to work.
Damn.
It's not going to work.
That is so strange.
Because I know you as the Three Stooges. I know you I know you guys is doing that. Now studios say that's mine. Y'all can't do it no more. Then you might as well be dead. The faces are the same, but the characters are not.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that's so strange you said that, Stevie, because I was watching second to last episode of Crashing, and this young lady, she gets to do her set on Seth Meyers' show.
Okay.
So anyway, they had like a little party for all the comedians got together, and they were going to watch it at the Comedy Cellar. When she did her,
Right.
cheer her on and stuff. And Emo Phillips shows up to do a set at the Comedy Cellar, so she wouldn't talk to Emo. And it's just so bizarre because he told her exactly what you just said. He says, yeah, you know Emo Phillips. He
I
talks
know
like
the I know the name.
if you see him,
Okay.
Smart guy, but he just
Okay.
talks like a
Okay.
weird kid or
Okay.
something. And he says, see, the Marx Brothers could never be the Three Stooges. She's like,
Right.
oh my God. In other words, telling her to be you. And that's why people don't understand when you and I like wrestling, okay? It's the personalities. That's
Right.
what drew you in. Everybody was something different. They brought something
Yes.
different to the table. The Crusher was the Crusher. The Bruiser was the
Right.
Bruiser.
Right.
Mad Dog was on and on and on. And they had that. And when people moved around, you didn't say, "Oh, he must have signed a contract." No, he just went from one territory to another.
Right.
When
Same
Superstar
guy.
Billy,
Same guy.
But when Superstar Billy Graham came to Houston, you would say, "Oh my God, he must have quit WWF." And no, you know he's here.
Right.
And he's going to be back in New York in a couple of days. He's going to be in another part of Texas. So
Right.
to me,
But yeah, I mean, if you change like that, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I had a butterfly in my damn. How'd damn butterfly get in here? Anyway, that's what I'm talking. Fucking butterfly right now. Do I have a window up or something?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Anyway, I'm upstairs, man. I gotta keep everything closed up here. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, what I'm saying is, matter of fact, me and Russo was having this conversation last week on the Black and White podcast, and we were talking about the same thing. I said when I used to watch professional wrestling, going back to what you just said, the personalities was half the battle.
Absolutely.
Just like reading is half the battle. You know what I'm saying? Personalities were half the battle. And I looked forward to all the professional wrestlers that I was into when they did their promos, their interviews. That was such a big part of the show. And the guys that really did the great promos, they stood out like a sore thumb. I remember I would watch NWA on TBS back in the mid 80s. My whole thing was I love the wrestlers. I love this character. I love that character. But my whole thing was waiting for Jimmy Cornette and the Midnight Express to come up and Jimmy Cornette get the mic and start just going off on people. I mean, never pause, just going off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I seen Dusty Rhodes out here. They said he's a son of a plumber. He said his daddy. I still remember this shit like it was yesterday, man. I fell on the floor laughing. I mean, I swear to God, I fell and I finally met Jimmy Cornette and I asked him about this. I don't even know if he remembered it. They say his daddy was the son of a plumber. His daddy wasn't a plumber. His daddy was a drunk. His daddy that drank every day of his life. His daddy was born in the sewer. He lived in the sewer and he died in the sewer. He committed suicide. Dog, I died. I fell off my couch laughing. Yeah. Oh my God. And then I can't remember who Tony Schiavone and them had the mic and they said something like, you shouldn't say that. He went right to the next subject, man. It was funniest shit it was the funniest shit I ever heard on television before, man. But what I'm saying is,
when he used to do promos in Mid-South, he would, Bill Watts would watch all the guys do their interviews.
Right.
He's, they all come in one day and interview after interview. Okay, Centralplex and Baton Rouge, go. Blah blah. Anyway,
Right.
and Cornette one day in one of his rants, he went off on Jim Ross, and as part of his rant and stuff like that, and then Bill Watts said, "Okay, that was great, but I'm not booking you against Jim Ross. Do it all over again." See,
Right.
And my point is that that was the use of the territories. Is that
right?
You honed your talent, you got better, you cleaned up, man. By the time you went to NWA, AWA, you were ready. You were ready for those areas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, if people would have seen Sylvester Ritter back in 1976, he wouldn't have made a dime.
Right.
But,
and that's the thing. Repackaging you,
yes,
was a big thing back in those days when this character wasn't getting over. Okay, go find something else that might be better at. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big deal back in those days when it came to territory wrestling, and some people just didn't get over. And some people, hell, I remember when Rob Van Dam was just a job guy, and then he went to ECW and started doing that whole effing show. Rob, man, boom, he blows up. He blows up. Yeah. And Rob had been around for years before that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that's a part of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
That you were just referring to. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's just like going into central casting. Okay, central casting needs you to play a cowboy on Gunsmoke. Central casting needs you to play a detective on the FBI or something like that. You just become whatever the studio wants you to be.
Mm-hmm.
That is professional wrestling of today. Totally different.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy.
And those guys are trained in every facet of entertainment because that's their background. So if they need to play a professional wrestler, they go down to some professional wrestling school, learn all the tricks and trades, learn how to talk, learn everything they can, and then they put that into that character. And for that movie, that TV show, or whatever it may be, that role is that for that long. Tomorrow, he's something else.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we are. That's what professional wrestling has become in so many ways. That's why I always say professional wrestling is more of a television show than a wrestling show. See, it used to me, in my opinion, it used to be professional wrestling was a subculture that just happened to be on television. Now professional wrestling is pop culture that is a TV show, if that makes sense. No, everything's inverted now.
Everything's inverted. Everything's upside. It's all upside down. But I mean, it's your personality when you're given a gimmick, whatever. When you amp it up. Like I always tease
you perfect it.
Yeah, but I always tease you the first time I saw you guys interview. You told Tony Schiavone, "Hold that mic up to me while I'm talking."
Right.
And see, just that little thing like that it catches someone's eye. It's like, shit, these guys ain't to be played with. Just a little thing like that. It's like when Ole Anderson went up to Sharkey, he met all these guys and they all kissing his ass. "Oh, nice to meet you, Ole. Nice to meet you, Ole." And Mike looked at him. "You don't look so tough."
Right.
Ole went, aha. See, he knew he had something special.
Right.
You don't look so tough. Just like that, man. So it's like, wow. And but you guys just you amped it up a little bit. Because in real life, you wouldn't tell someone to hold the mic up. But you know what I'm saying? That's that character. And you sprinkle a little bit of your personality into it. You amp it up. and you got these two mean ass guys that look like they could beat the shit out of anybody, regardless of what they could do in the ring. And let me add parenthetically, they wrestled their first match, and the koofies was still on their head the entire time. That was hilarious. The kufi was on your head the whole damn, it's all those things. But that started in global, I guess, But anyway, it's
No. You 100% right, and that's like I say, me and Russo was talking about that last week, and now I was telling Russo, brother, that's gone. It ain't never coming back.
No.
It ain't never coming back, bro, because people today don't know anything about that. They know today's pop culture type wrestling. They don't know yesterday. So what you're looking for, that kind of authentic, type creations ain't never coming back now, because just like everything else, pro wrestling now is about the brand.
Oh, absolutely.
It's about but what I'm saying, everything is about the brand now. The NBA is about the brand now. You know what I'm saying? You don't touch this brand. You don't defame this brand. NFL, you don't touch this brand. WWE, you don't touch this brand. And that's what I'm saying. Right now, different names can be on the marquee, but who's wrestling who does not have to be on the marquee anymore, because it's not about the matches. It's about the brand. And that ain't never going to change.
No doubt. No. You're going to WrestleMania to watch WrestleMania.
Right.
The first year, you're going to see Piper and Orndorff versus Hogan.
But see, that's a WrestleMania is different, especially back in those days. Yeah. I'm talking about today. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about when they come to the house shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They used to have to sell the matches.
Sure.
They don't have to sell the matches anymore when they go to house shows. They just put up there, WWE is going to be in town, and they might just have certain people that's going to be on the card. You know what I'm saying? The card. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Or they got the buses or the trucks outside with certain wrestlers' faces painted on it. That's all the publication that they does. And the tickets sell quick when they go on the radio in certain towns. WWE is going to be here on March the 15th, blah, blah, blah. You can see so-and-so. You'll be able to see so-and-so. It's promoted just like a rock concert now. If it's 3 people that's going to be on a rock concert, they're going to tell you who's opening, middle, and who's going to be the top guy, the top band. And that's it. Yeah. So in essence, it's in the same floor mat. Right. It didn't say OJ's with Gerald Levert. No, you just say the OJ's. You don't have to say Gerald Levert. You know what I'm saying? The Rolling Stones. You don't have to say Mick Jagger. Just say the Rolling Stones. Mm-hmm. People already know who they are. That's the difference. The brand sells itself. Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying, once Vince went public, hey, brother, you open yourself up for everything that's going on right now with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because see, now I don't have to be. This is the thing. What I was trying to explain to people. Now, to run a professional wrestling company, you ain't really got to know shit about wrestling. Long as I got a few people in here that can write, like Hollywood writers, because Vince started that. So I can get anybody from simple that can be a writer to write this stuff now. They ain't got to know nothing about wrestling. And then I get a few people that are producers, per se, or people that put the matches together. Any ex-wrestler like myself can do all of that stuff. And then boom, I'm off and running and making money. You already built the brand, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You already built the brand. I'm off and running.
Yeah, but the problem with that, Steve, you see a bunch of silly ass shit like 2 guys start off fighting and then wrestling. That's not logical.
Well, see, the thing is, You can't put logic to illogical thinking.
There you go. There you go.
You can't, you just don't work. You can't put a logical, critical thinking type situation to people that don't know anything about that.
Right.
Because you conditioned for this.
Yeah.
So that's their audience.
Oh, yeah.
They're conditioned for it. So that's why I'm saying you don't have to know. Vince McMahon grew up in the wrestling business. What he has created, you don't have to know. You don't have to be a genius like him to run a company. And you're going to find out. Everybody out there that's listening to me right now, you're going to find out. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They're going to take this company from Vince, and they're going to put somebody like The Rock in charge of it. And everything else will fall in place. Because it's not the same anymore. It's all Hollywood. It's all Hollywood type stuff. It's like a television show. It's like Three's Company. Take one chick off and put another one in. As long as you got the stars, whoever they may be, and you build your own stars. That's what we're looking at. Television show. Gunsmoke. As long as I got Marsha Dillon, I'm in, baby.
Suzanne Summers leaves, and they just put somebody else, another blonde.
Yeah.
We'll put Terry in. She'll do just fine. And
as long as I got the main guy.
Yeah. But when you get thinkers, like, I don't know if you know about Happy Days, they wanted to rename that show Fonzie's Happy Days.
Oh, when Fonzie got big?
Yeah. Ron Howard said, I didn't sign to be on Fonzie's Happy Days. I signed to be on Happy Days. I'll do Happy Days, but I'm not doing Fonzie's Happy Days. It's like very, very smart dude, Ron Howard. Very smart.
Oh, yeah, super. He grew up in the business.
Yes.
Because you got to remember, his old man was in the business.
Yeah, Ranch.
Yeah.
Ranch Howard. Yeah.
So, John Ritter's old man was in the business. Tex Ritter.
Yeah.
So these cats ain't dumb, bro.
Yeah, you remember the guy from the White Shadow?
The coach? Ken Howard?
No, the small Tharp, Morris Tharp from the White Shadow, the black guy. He's a little small guy with the glasses on.
Oh, yeah. His dad was in the business.
I can't think of his name in real life. But anyway, Kevin Hooks.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was doing some other stuff, and Gwyneth Paltrow, Bruce Paltrow, he had something to do with that show, and he said, no, it's time for you to go on and do other things now. In other words, see, Bruce would push those guys.
Right.
That's why Haywood became something, producing and all that kind of stuff, director, whatever. Because Bruce, he believed in him, and he said, no, you're not gonna stay in this cocoon. Yeah. Another guy that was really inspirational to a lot of black guys.
But like I said, but his dad was an actor.
Yeah.
Kevin Hooks' dad was an actor.
Yeah. Robert Hooks. Yeah.
Robert Hooks. Yes.
Robert Hooks. Yeah.
And a writer and all that shit. Yeah. So he's from the business. He's from the business too.
Kevin was saying he had gotten comfortable working for Bruce, and Bruce was like, "No, it's time for you to go out on your own. I know you can do this." And sure enough, I think he did his own TV show. I think. He
directed a lot of shows.
Right. So I'm saying
he directed a lot of shows.
And it's like
that you will see his name. You see his name sometime and go, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
He directed that. Right.
Yeah.
So that's the business. People just don't know. But them guys went to school for this stuff. So many people don't realize that these guys don't walk off the street. They look like they walk off the street, but these guys are out of, Juilliard and stuff like that, man. These guys ain't no, just like Carl Weathers. That was his major, theater arts. He's a football player, but he majored in theater arts, which means you got to know how to dance. A lot of people didn't know Carl Weathers could sing his ass off. Seriously. Fucking Carl Weathers. What was his name in Rocky?
Apollo
Creed. Apollo Creed was a hell of a singer, because when you go to theater school, you got to learn all that stuff.
Yeah.
You got to learn it. That's why you're here.
Look,
Even if you're a comedian like Jimmy, if you had went to creative school or
yeah,
performing arts school, even though you're a comedian and that's what you want to be in life, you're gonna have to learn how to sing and dance because you can't tell jokes in a play.
right.
So you got to learn all facets of the business.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's funny. It's funny you make that observation too, because I've been watching I got hooked on this show called Daniel Boone, and I look at all these Perry Mason reruns and stuff on
right.
FETV.
So do I.
And it always throws me for a loop. Like I was watching one of the episodes of Perry Mason, and Jock Ewan was on there, Jim Davis.
Right.
And I just, man, that voice sounds familiar. Well, it was Jim Davis. He was a young man, so And then Miss Ellie was on an episode of Daniel Boone, and you see different.
Right.
You're like, oh, these people are actors because we stereotype them so much from that one. And they're actors. She was on this show. She was on that show. The guy that played on Bewitched, the second Darren, he was on an episode of Daniel Boone. It's like, these are actors. We just see them from that one thing they become famous for.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. When I was saying you get cast as this one day, and next week you get cast as this. And the week after that, you got to realize back in those days, the same studios made all those TV shows.
That's
you
why
might
you pop up and
on different westerns, on different detective shows, on what I'm saying. And it's like, wow, this dude, you got to have range to do that stuff, man.
Yes,
that's how you ate. And I'm like, you really think somebody gonna walk off the street acting like this and gonna get an acting job? On what planet?
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna represent you. You acting like a clown or a drunk or can barely talk and this, that, and the other. I'm gonna do this and blah blah. Bro, ain't nobody gonna represent you.
And they people too, because word gets around. The guy from the Adam 12, the Milne with the blonde headed guy.
Read him Malloy.
Malloy. And he was on an episode of the Twilight Zone. Anyway, on YouTube for a while, they've taken it down. They used to have
the one where he had the other guy. It was another guy.
You talking about watch-alongs? You talking about doing watch. Well, they would play an episode of the Twilight Zone. They bring somebody that was on that episode to talk about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's been taken out a long time ago. So anyway, so Malloy was in an episode of it called Mirror Image. And he's talking, as the show is being played, he's giving commentary. And he says, so many people would show up at the studio of the Twilight Zone. So many actors, trying to get on that show.
Trying to get on that show.
Right, but we don't see it. These are people too, man. They trying to, when the show got big, they was trying to get on. So many people would show up. And I remember the guy from Good Times, James Evans, John Amos. He said the same thing with Roots. He said people would just show up.
I heard that one.
Yeah,
I heard that one. He said every black actor in Hollywood.
Oh, everybody
was trying to get a piece of that show.
Yeah, and because they heard it was gonna be big, and they're trying to get a little scrap and that's because Stevie, to this day, whenever I see Sandy Duncan, I want to beat her ass. To this day, when she was teaching kids how to read, and then years later, I
remember everything. I remember everybody. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. The reason I liked the reason I liked Roots, and one thing that I really learned from it, even back in the day when it was on, I think I was in high school when Roots was on. I got to see so many people that I had seen as a kid in so many movies, especially westerns and this, that, and the other. So, and then I got to see them in Roots playing different roles than they ever played in their lives. That's one thing I still remember about that TV show, man. That'll go down with me to the day I die. I got to see so many people like Sandy Duncan that I had never seen, or Chuck Connors, or all of these guys, man. From we grew up watching The Rifleman. You know what I'm saying? Now we see him.
Who played his wife? You know who played his wife? Morticia Adams.
Right.
That's what
Carolyn
she said.
Jones.
That's what she
Carolyn
said.
Jones. Right. And I'm just saying, I was really into. I've always been in the movies and TV shows. Um, a little different from my friends because I'm always trying to figure stuff out. I'm always trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm the kind of person that watches a movie and I really, really listen. My mother taught me how to do that when I was a kid. She always said, "You shut up and you always listen. When you shut up and listen, you will always learn something." So I've been like that my whole life. I'm the kind of person that I might not, you might not think I'm listening, but I'm listening. So watching Roots was one thing, but listening to the story and how things got to where they were and how they were trying to explain things through artistic way, I was really focused on that. You know what I'm saying? Because Edward Asner, come on, we all know Edward Asner. You know what I'm saying? And seeing him, I mean, everybody that was in that stuff, you know, even the people he didn't know very good. So I wanted to see where this thing was going because you remember it was a mini series, and you just couldn't watch it to watch a slave get beaten or tortured. I was trying to figure out the mindset of a Western European mindset. You know, and the movie was trying to explain that to you. That's why to this day, you still got people saying, well, they had slavery all over the world to try to deflect. And every time somebody say that to me, you know what I always say? Well, how many people died to stop it?
Yeah.
How many people died and went to war to stop it, though?
Yeah.
Every other civilization on this earth stopped slavery through legislation. Only one country went to war and killed his own brother to keep it. Only one. So, with all that being said, Jimmy, I think we're getting too deep. Somebody just asked me something. I saw Burt Reynolds on Gunsmoke. Yeah, Burt got his big break on Gunsmoke. Yeah, I remember that episode he was on with the dude that played Festus. They brought him back. He wasn't Festus. He was another guy messing around with this other dude's wife. And Burt Reynolds was on there. This was kind of like at the end of the Gunsmoke stuff. And remember the guy that played Festus? Well, he came, huh? He came back as a regular. He was a regular guy, you know, starting havoc. He ended up getting killed at the end of the damn episode.
But let's wrap it up on this real quick. Because you triggered something when you mentioned Ed Asner to me. Because I will never forget that scene.
Power on.
You remember Ed Asner was the tough, you know, captain. He was just a mean old promoter.
Yeah, man. Ed said, I got to get this paper, baby. Yeah. I got to get them slaves.
Right.
I got to get the big payoff, baby.
But you remember what he told the guy from the
guys on Facebook, I got to get out of here. Peace. What was that now?
Do you remember what he told the guy from the Waltons? Because the guy from the Waltons, the daddy from the Waltons, he was catching the slaves. And
that's right.
Yeah, so he's breaking it down to him how we go catch some by.
What was his name? Something Wait. His last name something Wait.
Oh yeah, in real life his last name is Wait. But anyway,
yeah.
Ed Asner looks at him and he says, whatever the character is, he said, listen, I don't have the time or the temperament for this. Can you secure me, you know, 150 blacks by block? You know, in other words, in other words, he was a no-nonsense guy, but if you notice, by the time when that ship landed back in America 90 days later, it broke him. You know,
it had a conscience. It had a conscience.
Humanity, you know, it broke him.
It had a conscience, yeah.
In other words, he didn't give a fuck about anybody, black, white, or green. I just gotta get these people, you know. But the voyage, and in other words, it was trying to tell you in a way how tough this thing was. That this was not a cruise ship. That voyage broke a lot of men because it broke the cap.
And with television back then, they had to tread lightly. Not like they can do today. You know what I'm saying? So they had to really do it through emotion. Whereas today it would have been super graphic. and you had to figure it out. That's what
That's
I
it,
loved
brother.
about stuff back then.
Let's
And it helped me with how I look at life today, bro.
Let's get out of this rabbit hole, brother. Let's get out
No,
of this
man, it's
rabbit hole.
good. It is good for people to know. Wait a minute, Lawman said like Jackie Brown. What are you talking about? Man, he getting like Calcutta. What Jackie Brown got to do with anything? Unless they were talking about something while we wasn't listening. Like Jackie, what? Man, you better be talking about something else. I don't
Gotta
know.
go, brother. Gotta go.
But anyway, guys, we're gonna see everybody tomorrow night. Sonny I don't know might be here. He might not be here. But like I said, guys, if you don't do anything else when you listen to this show, Jimmy, let them know.
Be one.
Be one, people. See you tomorrow. Peace.